Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Today we're going to be looking at the aura. The aura is a very important part of human design. When you look at your chart, you see this two-dimensional image of your characteristics and your life force. And it's two-dimensional. The reality is, in fact, that, we have a body and we have a aura, a bioelectromagnetic aura that extends from the body. In human design, it's described as what's black in the chart is to do with the personality crystal, and what's red in the chart has to do with the design crystal, to do with the body. And at the beginning of life, there is this magnetic monopole, a magnet within us that just attracts. It attracts our life to us. And the design crystal is in the magnetic monopole. And yet when the personality crystal arrives and it hovers outside of the body, there is this release of the design crystal that moves away from the magnetic monopole. To give you an example, if you think about this as before the personality arrives, and when it does, there is this tension of light. It is like, this is the light of life, if you like, that radiates beyond the skin. Now, the skin is like the largest organ of the body. It communicates in an asymmetrical way. So a darker patch on lighter skin, or a lighter patch on darker skin, it communicates in various ways, and there's various ways to read it. But beyond that, 7.5 feet around us in a kind of an egg-shaped shell, there is this bioelectromagnetic aura. And it is through the connection of the auras that we connect. If you go into the human design relationship mechanics, you can learn about the electromagnetics, the attraction and repulsion between the two gates. If you have one gate and someone has the other gate on the other side, there is this connection. It's a sparky connection. And we can go on with other forms of that, but that's not really what I want to talk about at the moment. I want to talk about the fact that we meet in the aura when we meet. There are different types, as you know, in human design, and human design describes the different auras. The Manifestor aura of being closed and repelling. The Projector aura of being focused and absorbing and penetrating. The Generator and Manifesting Generator auras being open and enveloping. And the Reflector aura being a non-stick aura, being like Teflon, as Ra called it. Things don't stick to it. So there's different types of aura. But everything that you have in your chart radiates out from the body and is picked up by others. This is how we condition each other. If like me, you're an open solar plex and you're with a solar plex person, you're going to amplify and absorb that energy that they're putting out because you don't have it. So we know this. But do we really work with it? Have you really experimented with it? Because there's many secrets to be found if you do. Back in the day when I was running a Mind, Body, Spirit magazine, I came across many different technologies that could measure the aura. The Kirlian photography, back in the day, I got my own Kirlian machine, and you could put your hand on there and see your aura at any time, what was emanating out from the hands. And later on, I did some experiments with a guy called Harry Oldfield, who had developed this incredible aura camera that could really take photographs of the aura. And I know many things have gone on since then, but it was a great interest to me. I'm a 60th gate line 1. I'm here to test the limitations. I'm here to see what's out there, to push against, to see how far we can go, and the aura is a great example of that. It's a great thing to really experiment with in your own life, especially with the knowledge of human design. The other day, I had the privilege of hosting a dinner for two manifestors. One was an ego manifestor with the channel of initiation linking through to the G, and a very fixed G, into the 1-8 to go into the throat to make her a manifestor. The other one was a guy that was an emotional manifestor with the 36-35, the channel of transitoriness, with emotional energy impacting directly from the emotional system into the throat. And I'm a manifesting generator, you know, and so there's a different auras in the room, but it's quite rare for me to actually have two manifestors only in my aura. And there I am busy, you know, preparing things on the stove, and at the end of the kitchen there are these two manifestors, and I suddenly become aware of an incredible and profound peace, unexpectedly. I mean, there's a lot going on with the designs I've just mentioned, and yet it was deeply peaceful, profoundly peaceful. And we know that the signature of the manifestor is anger or peace. And we were having a good time. It was a happy time, and they were peaceful. And that peace radiated out into my aura. It was incredible. It was incredible. And I really want to direct you towards experimenting yourself, because whatever type you are and whatever aura you have, you get to know more also about yourself in contrast to the other types. So, for example, in this situation, you know, I'm a manifesting generator with an active body, and I'm, you know, doing this and doing that and doing and doing and doing. And that's natural for me. I have the channel of charisma. So I am designed to be busy, but it's unconscious in me. I am unaware of my own busyness. I mean, people look at me and go, oh my God, Richard, you've done all this. You know, it's like, how did you do that? Well, it's in me. It radiates out from me. And with the manifestor, when it comes to doing, manifestors, they are an energy type, but the kind of doing that I do automatically is work for them. It's work for them. It's energy being used for them. And when I spend time in the auras of non-sacrals, I am reflected back the power that I have within me. And it's quite astonishing as you become more sensitive to your own aura, and you become sensitive to and know more about what you're putting out by your design. It's amazing how that reflection can really help. And it's something to embrace who we are, all of who we are. But you can learn a lot at a non-intellectual level through the direct experience of the aura. I mean, for example, in the case of the two manifestors, no words were being spoken. It was silent. And I'm used to all kinds of silence. I'm used to the silence in my own dwelling. You know, I choose to live alone, and I enjoy my own aura, and I am familiar with my own aura simply by, you know, sleeping in my own aura and spending a lot of time in my own aura. So when someone comes into my aura, comes into my home, I'm aware of the difference. I'm aware of them in contrast to me in contrast to them. You actually get a self-reflection of your very energy, your very life force, your very design as a living thing becomes more apparent to you when you pay attention to it. So I'm very used to silence in my own dwelling, and I've, you know, in my time of exploring mind, body, spirit subjects over decades and decades and decades and decades, I've been in rooms where I've sat silently with others in meditation. I've been in ashrams where I've sat with 10,000 people. And the silence of that You know, it's magnified when there's more people who are truly in silence. But manifestors have this natural ability to move when they're silent together. And they don't need to do so much speaking the way generators and projectors can. They don't need that. They don't do that when they're alone. And it's like the silence of that peace was different. It was like the aura is closed and repelling. It's almost like a presence that is also an absence, if I put it that way. So it's like it's hidden in a way, hidden behind the aura, what they are. This is why manifestors are so surprising to us, because you know they are designed to act. You know, they are designed to manifest. They're completely uncontrollable by type. They're supposed to be. So you don't really know what's coming from a manifestor until they manifest. It's like, whoa, you know. But to experience the other side of it, to experience that stillness in the silence in a very different way. And when you get a high contrast, you also get a reflection of how you're different from that. So I want to encourage you to do that. The other thing I want to say to you today is something, I want to repeat something Ra said to me. He says, I'm very aware about who I let access to my aura. And he meant it. And I understand now far more than I did. You know, when if your aura, he said, is your most precious thing. The aura is incredibly precious, and you should take care of it. You know, who you allow in your aura, they're going to condition you in one way or another. You know, you can pick up in the electromagnetic frequency of your aura what's around you if you pay attention. You can know the other person's chart, and you can be very specific if you want to be. But just generally to feel what it is to feel out through the aura, and to realize that the physical body is not the end of you. You know, it goes on and on and on. In fact, there are many things one can do with one's aura if you want to look into it, but that's another story. But I want you to pay attention to it, because it's going to be very useful to you in your process, and it's going to be very useful to you in your own sensitivity and your growing sensitivity to who and what you are. And the final thing I want to say to you is a warning. I don't really like giving out warnings. I like to empower people, but I find it's necessary now. Your aura is your most precious acquisition in this life. And yet it is electromagnetic. And we are living at the moment in a society with a great deal of electromagnetic pollution. You know, I've done what I can to work with that using a device that will stop electromagnetic interference coming into the house, or at least reduce it. But you can feel it. It's taking away, in a way, the electromagnetic energy. The Bluetooth, for example, I can't stand to be around Bluetooth. You know, it actually hurts me. You know, as soon as I turn off the Bluetooth, sometimes I have to use it for various business things. And as soon as I turn it off, there's this relief. So I want you to be more conscious of the electromagnetic devices you have around you, your computer, your phone, your Bluetooth, your Bluetooth headphones, for example. I mean, I'm highly suspicious of these, you know, and I don't go anywhere near them myself, but I see people using them more and more. And there are more and more devices and gadgets coming out that do radiate electromagnetic frequencies that will be affecting your aura. And, you know, to be quite honest, I sometimes I think, well, maybe there's that scene in The Matrix when Neo wakes up and he finds himself attached in a cubicle to various things, siphoning off his life energy. You know, it's all very, you know, there's tubes and it's all very physical. but I suspect that there may be more going on than just the physical. And I wonder sometimes if there's any kind of energy harvesting going on with the wireless technology that has been put out so much through the world. And for that, I want you to try and experiment. It's going to be easier for some of you than others. But for those of you who can turn off all your Wi-Fi, just give yourself a breather. Turn off the LED lights. You know, come back home. It's like coming back home when you take yourself out of all that electromagnetic interference and frequencies that are all around us. It weakens us in some way. And my advice is to give yourself a break every now and again. Certainly don't sleep with the phone near you, turn it off. You know, turn these things off. You know, you need to be familiar with your own aura as a human being, you know, without the interference. It really helps in many, many, many ways. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please like and share and subscribe. That would be very good. And I will see you again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.